She's 22 years old, and she just became the highest-paid woman in soccer history, $2 million a year. But here's what nobody's talking about. In another league, the biggest stars are making less than what she earns in a month. Caitlin Clark, the most-watched player in women's sports, takes home just $78,000. But wait, because everything is about to change. Behind closed doors, a revolution is brewing that could completely rewrite the game. What if I told you some basketball players might soon out-earn her? The war for women's sports supremacy just got real. And the numbers? They'll blow your mind. Trinity Rodman just made history with the Washington Spirit. Her new 3-year contract pays her over $2 million annually, including bonuses. That makes her not just the highest-paid player in the NWSL, but the highest-paid female soccer player on the entire planet. To put this in perspective, the deal came with serious drama. Back in November, Trinity and the Spirit agreed to a backloaded 4-year contract worth over $1 million per year. But the NWSL Commissioner Jessica Berman shut it down, claiming it violated the spirit of the league's rules. The league even accused Trinity of salary cap circumvention. This sparked outrage. The Players' Union filed a grievance, calling it a flagrant violation of her free agency rights. European teams were circling, ready to poach her with bigger offers. The NWSL was on the verge of losing one of America's brightest stars. So what did the league do? They created an entirely new rule just to keep her. The high-impact player mechanism allows teams to spend up to $1 million over the salary cap for elite players who meet specific criteria. Things like national team minutes, Ballon d'Or nominations, and top player rankings. And it worked. Trinity signed. Through 2028, she'll be making bank while staying in DC with the team that drafted her at just 18 years old. The youngest player ever drafted in NWSL history is now its highest paid. The 2021 Rookie of the Year, an Olympic gold medalist, a player with 28 goals and 17 assists in just 5 seasons. She's earned every penny. Now let's talk basketball. The WNBA salary structure is a completely different universe, and when you see these numbers, you'll understand why people are furious. Caitlin Clark, the most electrifying player in women's basketball, is making $78,000 in 2025. Her entire 4-year rookie contract is worth just $338,000 total. That's less than what Trinity Rodman makes in 2 months. Clark brought record-breaking viewership to the WNBA. She increased merchandise sales by 601%. Her jersey is the league's best seller, and yet she's earning poverty wages compared to her impact. A'ja Wilson, the 4-time MVP and arguably the best player in the world right now, makes $200,000 per year. She's won 3 WNBA championships with the Las Vegas Aces. She set the WNBA's single-season scoring record with over 1,000 points. She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. And her annual salary? $200,000. The current WNBA Supermax tops out at around $249,000 per year. That's the absolute ceiling. The highest paid players in the league right now are Jewel Lloyd and Arike Ogunbowale, both making about $249,000 annually. Let that sink in. The best basketball players in the WNBA are making what Trinity Rodman earns in 6 weeks. Let's break this down side by side because the numbers are genuinely shocking. Trinity Rodman earns over $2 million per year in the NWSL. Caitlin Clark earns $78,000 in the WNBA. Trinity makes 26 times more than Caitlin. 26 times. Trinity Rodman earns over $2 million. A'ja Wilson, a 4-time MVP, earns $200,000. Trinity makes 10 times what the best player in basketball makes. Here's another angle. Trinity's annual salary is higher than the entire salary cap for a WNBA team. The WNBA salary cap for 2026 is $5 million per team. That's for an entire roster of 12 players. Trinity alone earns more than half of what an entire WNBA team can spend. Even when you factor in bonuses and marketing agreements, WNBA players aren't catching up. Caitlin Clark earned about $114,000 total in 2025 when you include her Commissioner's Cup bonus and other incentives. Still nowhere close. The gap is massive. The gap is undeniable. And it's raising serious questions about how women athletes are valued across different sports. So why is this happening? Why does soccer pay so much more than basketball for women's sports? The answer isn't simple, but there are 3 main factors. First, league structure and history. The NWSL was founded in 2013, but it's part of a global soccer ecosystem. Women's soccer has been growing internationally for decades, with massive investment in Europe, especially in England, Spain, and France. Top players can command huge salaries overseas, which forces American teams to compete globally. The WNBA, founded in 1996, is the only major professional women's basketball league in the world. There's less competition for talent, which means less pressure to raise salaries. Second, revenue-sharing models. The NWSL has been more aggressive about seeking private investment and doesn't have the same rigid salary cap structure the WNBA does. Washington Spirit owner Michelle Kang is a billionaire who's committed to investing in women's soccer globally. She owns 3 teams across different continents. That kind of money changes the game. The WNBA is tied to the NBA and operates under a collective bargaining agreement that limits how much teams can spend. Third, media rights and viewership. This is where it gets interesting. The WNBA actually has higher TV ratings than the NWSL in the United States. Caitlin Clark's games regularly drew over 1 million viewers. NWSL games rarely crack 500,000. But globally, women's soccer has a broader audience. The Women's World Cup is a massive event. Women's Champions League matches in Europe draw huge crowds. Basketball is more regional. The bottom line? Soccer has more money flowing through the system globally, and the NWSL is willing to break the bank for top talent in ways the WNBA hasn't been able to yet. So is this fair? Should Trinity Rodman be making 26 times what Caitlin Clark makes? The debate is fierce, and there are strong opinions on both sides. Some people argue that Trinity deserves every penny. She's playing in a sport with global competition for talent. If the NWSL didn't pay her, she'd be gone to Europe. Market forces dictate her value. She's also been in the league longer. She's proven herself on the international stage. And she's a game changer for her team. This is capitalism at work. Others point to Caitlin Clark's impact and say the system is broken. Clark brought more viewers to women's basketball than anyone in history. She's generating millions in revenue for the league, the Fever, and broadcast partners. Yet she's locked into a rookie-scale contract that pays her pennies compared to her value. That's not a free market. That's a rigged system. There's also the argument about sport complexity and skill. Some say soccer requires more versatility, endurance, and global competition. Others say basketball is more skill-intensive with fewer players making a bigger individual impact. But here's the real issue. It's not about Trinity versus Caitlin. It's not soccer versus basketball. It's about women athletes as a whole being underpaid compared to their male counterparts. Trinity's $2 million is groundbreaking for women's soccer, but it's still nothing compared to what top male soccer players make. Caitlin's $78,000 is insulting when NBA rookies make millions. The debate shouldn't be which female athlete deserves more. The debate should be why are all of them being paid so little compared to the value they bring. Trinity Rodman just changed the game at $2 million per year. Meanwhile, WNBA stars are still fighting for fair pay. But with 2026 negotiations coming, million-dollar salaries might finally become reality. What do you think? Should the WNBA follow soccer's lead? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more sports breakdowns. See you next time.